Hi, this is Max Drake. I want to talk to you about getting multiple file links into Google Sheets for a Glide app. So here's an example of an app that I'm doing, which is registry of a whole lot of buildings and information about them. So if we just go into here, you see I've got an image for the building. I've got a downloadable PDF, I've got a site plan, I've got a floor plan. If there's multiple floor plans or other things, they'll need to go in there. So just looking at the spreadsheet for this, oh, look at that data. If we go into data and we just go, there's quite a few fields that I need to do. I've got an image, I've got a site plan, I've got maybe 1, 2, 3 floor plans, I've got a downloadable link, and other ones may have other plans as well. So, you know, there might be 5 or 6 stories. So on this particular one, there are about 450 odd lines, and so there's quite a lot of images that are, or images or files that I've got to bring in there. So if we just go into a normal file type situation, to actually make that shareable, I've got to go and right hand click. So after first, if I come into here, I can go click upload files. I always keep my files relating to my apps inside Google Drive, because that's where my sheet is, so it doesn't have far to go and get those images or files or data and anything. I'm not going to have it in Dropbox or something else. I'm just going to have them all here. It's a lot faster. Why put extra strain on you want to try and make the thing as fast as possible. Anyway, to actually make a file shareable, you just go onto the file and you right click and you go share, and you get a shareable. There's a shareable link. You can actually change the permissions so that it's anyone with a link can do that, and then that's got an edit. Done. Something's wrong with that. So let's just go and grab another one. If we just do that one and do share, in the advanced area, you can actually change that so that anyone can do, and instead of can view, you can edit, you can comment, etc, etc. So anyway, for Glide, if you just bring in images, then can view is more than adequate, so that's fine. You can then grab that link and then put it into things. So I'd actually just copy that, and I would just go into a sheet, and paste it, and there we are, and then that's a linkable a link through to that, so that's fine. So this can be done also on multiple, so I can either do the folder, and if I just click on the folder and right click and do share, it will make everything in that folder shareable. So that's a quick way of, if you've got, instead of a whole load of files, but if you only wanted a few files that do share. Also, if you share them, you can't unshare them, I've noticed. So here we go, share. I select those 3 there, and share settings done. So I can actually grab that. I can go Control A, Control Copy, done, and I can go in and I can paste that. And that one's done something weird as well. I'm not having a good day with some of these. So if I've got those, sorry, I just want to go through those again, and I want to make those share. Done. Why isn't that happening there? Maybe it's got to do shareable links, share. Get shareable link, and in the advanced we've got them, anyone can view, and here you'll notice links to share 2 linkable things. So I can actually grab multiple files at the same time and actually go into my spreadsheet and paste them, and there they are. We've got those links coming through, and there. Now, what I have found in the past, if you just click on one of them, look at that, all it has is an ID. There's nothing to reference what that flipping file is, so it's just a coded number. I did find when I was doing an earlier thing that although I had them in an order, they weren't coming into the GlideApps in those orders. So I had to go back and individually just link each one separately. So I found that as a bit of a nuisance. So that's one way of doing it, but it's a tedious thing. You know, I have got this audio thing that I'm trying to work on at the moment, and it has 140 odd files. So to actually go and get shareable links and have them in the order, quite frustrating. So I suddenly thought, how can I do that? So how can you get shareable links to Google Drive via Google Apps Scripts? And somebody gives a bit of a code there. The link is actually in the video below. So first of all, you need to go into scripts.google.com. You need to be logged into your Gmail account for you to come through here, and then you can click on a new script. When you run this script from here, it will work on your Google Drive. I'm not sure is if you actually use the tools and you run your script editor from inside the sheets, whether you can actually run a script from here on your drive. So anyway, this is where I've actually come from. I've created this one via this process, and I've copied and pasted his functions through there. I'm just going to toggle those comments. He does it by the folder ID. Now the folder ID, I'm in this folder here, and the folder ID is that. But when I was trying to run this last night, I couldn't get it to work. So instead of doing it, I ended up using folder name, and I got it from this gentleman here who learned Google Spreadsheets. He's fantastic to watch, and he uses get folder by name. But there's a big caution with that, is that when you actually use that code with a folder by name, make sure the folder name is unique. So I created some unique folders, names just for these ones here for downloading my audios, because I wanted them in different sections. And it goes and gets the folder thing. It then iterates through there. It adds this bit of a link onto it to make them viewable and stuff. So I've got a feeling that even if you actually went into a folder and you hadn't made them shareable, it will create them so that they become shareable. And then it comes through and it puts them into logger.log and JSON stringify. So what that does, if I just save that, and if I just run that function there, which is this one here, and I run that function, if I view logs, it's not doing it. So I'll have to run it again. This is, I do find this is a bit buggy with the old logs there, and I'm just going to, what I find is if I have this problem, what I actually do is I first of all, just to make sure that the log is working, I will edit and I will toggle the comments on that. I will now save that, and now I will run my function x. And all this is doing is got a variable called 12x, called folder name, sorry, and it's got pointing to 12x, and I'm calling 12x. So now if I go and look for my logger, it's coming through. So that bit there is working fine. So the logger's working, so there's something buggy in here. I'm actually going to take out that, and I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back to my original function and I'm going to run that. So it's looking in this folder and it's saying go through and get those things. So if I now go Control Enter, still not doing it. I find sometimes if I tap on it a few times, it does it. Control, and there it's come through. So now it's gone through and done a logger, and it's stringified the results. So all it's saying is that it's turned it into a JSON script. So I've now gone into this JSON converting to CSV.com, because JSON sort of, well, does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to me. So we want to put this into an organized manner. So we actually just go into here and we paste that in there. But it says we couldn't process this JSON. Now the reason why is right at the beginning there's a timestamp that it puts on the logger. So if we get rid of the timestamp, then it's perfect. You can see that the JSON stuff comes out into a CSV. So we copy it. We're not going to download. We're just going to copy that information, and we're going to go into our folder and we're going to paste it. paste. Well, it doesn't like that paste. We're going to Control V and paste it. Now, because it's CSV, sometimes when I paste into Google Sheets, it will ask me about what delimiter I want to use, but I haven't done that here. It's gone a bit, and I'm not that familiar with it. So I'm going to use the function split, and then I'm going to split that by comma. Wrong. Oh, and there I've done it again. Not by that, by comma. And so it splits everything down there, and so suddenly I've got the information of the file name and its link. Now they're not blue because at the moment I've actually got those extra quote marks on there. So if I take those quote marks out of that particular one, it then becomes a shareable link. I'd most probably have to do another little script, just another bit of function just to rip off those two quote marks at the end of those. I haven't refined it that much. Hey, it works. Who cares? And it goes through, and I can use that link, and it'll now go through and do that fast. And that's an audio file, and there we are. Lovely, nicely worked. So we can do that. I can find something in there and just refine the code even further. Now, that worked for me very quickly. It's a very crude bit of code. I put the script for the code in there. It's going to a logger that could actually go to a file directory. To a file. You could get it to go to a specific file to actually do that if it's generating a whole lot of stuff. I'm not that concerned. It did the job that I did. I will most probably use this a bit more, so start refining it and making sure that it's a bit more robust. But I thought other people may be interested in that as a method of getting a whole lot of links across into it. As I said, a couple of warnings with this at the moment. Make sure your folder is unique. If you have one called images, which one's it going to grab? So it's not actually going, look for the directory and a subdirectory and a thing like you would normally have in a Windows directory system. It's just saying, go and find that folder. This maybe I need to start doing it so that it codes better on the folder ID, and to get that to work, I had 140 odd links that I needed to get to last night. I just found a way of doing it. I'm just putting this out there. So if it's been of interest to you, please give a thumbs up for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a good day.